Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another watch me work, of course, and I'm doing an all acrylic ombre gradient marble type look with a gradient bling nail. And this set is of course perfect for the summer, just in time. We have the matte and the crystals, and it's just a really fun set. So let's get into it. So this is my client's previous set, and I actually did this set in August of last year. This client moved away and she came back just to visit friends and decided to have me do her nails while she was in town. So this is the tragedy that is her current nails. Yeah, they were not like that. Actually, most of her nails on that previous set with the cherries were her natural nails. We cut one down to do a transparent look. So her nails had grown out very long and healthy. And so this is what happens. 8 months of leaving. She was very sad. But I got it together, while she was here and in town. So we're happy about that. So I'm taking the skiver bit from Atwood Industries, and I'm going on a low speed. And I'm going to be removing the cuticle off of the nail plate, as you can see. So I'm going from right to left because I'm right-handed, and so this is the way the e-file spins on forward for the most part in most e-files. But you can always reverse it and go from left to right around the nail to get in spaces that you couldn't reach going a certain direction. So please always keep that in mind when you're working, doing this cuticle type work with different bits. It doesn't have to be this particular bit, but just doing these dry manicure type looks that you can go in both ways to get into the nail folds and things like that. And you can also use this bit to go over the entirety of the nail to remove the shine, because it has that, just that kind of grit. That's just like a sanding band or like a hand file. That's what diamond bits are. They're just a textured type of metal, and it comes in different grits. So this is the actual speed. I've had requests for people to show that actual speed that I'm using these cuticle bits in. So you can see I am going pretty slow and just going over the surface very gently. And as always, you want to keep this bit as parallel or flush to the natural nail as possible, so you don't cause rings in the nail. And you can see her poor nails, how jaggedy they are and ripped up, and the nail plate is just kind of uneven. You could tell that, she's had people kind of actually file away at her natural nail and cause indentation. She also still has product on here as well, so just keep that in mind. There is a little bit of acrylic on there. And so now I'm using the round bit from Atwood Industries, and this is the actual speed I'm using this bit. And again, this bit can be used forward or backwards, left-handed, right-handed, and this will help you get into different areas and little sections of the nail to make sure you buff all the dead skin off and everything like that. I don't really like to use that bit on the natural nail because it is round and can cause indentations. So now I'm going in on her nail with a hand file, and this is at actual speed too, and I'm gently just kind of filing away some of that acrylic that's left over in preparation for our tips. So for our tips, we're using the pre-pinch square from Glitter Planet UK, and you can see how I hold the hand facing the ceiling or turned up. And this is how I apply my tips. This is how I shape my nails. This is how I do a lot of stuff. I got to make sure that's even and straight and well shaped. So you can see how I'm holding in the sides. I've glued it down, but I'm pinching in the sides because this is a pinch tip. And this is going to help give her nails that more slender look because they're kind of pinched in on the side. So you can kind of tell the difference when I apply the tips of, her actual nail beds have a more slender look in preparation for that coffin shape. So now I'm just cutting to the length. I start with the pointers and the thumbs, and I ask my client what length do they like on their pointer and thumbs, and then I match them up from there. So I'm comparing one hand to the next. They don't have to be 100% perfect. You know how they say about eyebrows. They can be sisters. They don't have to be twins, but you want them close because they're two different hands. So, you know, who cares if it's a half a centimeter off on the right hand than it is the left. So don't just kill yourselves for that. Just, you know, get them close. So I'm just showing this process real quick. And I went in, I buffed the tips, and I shaped them into the coffin shape. I didn't add that in. Sorry about that. So I'm using the Vita Prime, which is an acid-based primer. I'm just applying a little bit on the nail plate, allowing that to dehydrate. Just a little bit. You don't want to touch the skin with this because it is acid-based, so it can cause some discomfort. So you don't want to do that just to the actual nail. So once that dehydrates out, I'm going to be using the YoungNails Protein Bond, and I'm doing this process in order to help with her adhesion, because acid-based primers kind of ever so slightly kind of eat away at the natural nail just to add that texture to it, and it dehydrates out and, you know, kind of does a little bit of the job of a dehydrator and balances the pH of the nail. And then after that, I go in with the Protein Bond, and that's like actual stickiness and tackiness. 2 coats, and I allow it to dry 10 to 15 seconds between each coat. And as you can see, I'm going in with a very, very thin, simple layer of clear. I'm using the Tammy Taylor clear with the Tammy Taylor Extra Adhesion Monomer. So I'm really working this set to make sure that she has long-lasting nails, because she's just in town. So I wanted to be able to wear these maybe till when she comes back next year. I'm just playing. But I just want to make sure, especially if the condition her nails were in, I figured it may be a little bit difficult for her nails to kind of have some good wear to them, just because they were a little damaged. And I'm just showing you the products that I used. And now for this ombre, I have a ton of different colors that we're going to be using. So you know, always, if you're curious about a color, just rewind or pause. And I don't have links to everything below. You know, I'm giving y'all all the information. All you have to do is bust out Google and Google. That's it. You know, type in the color, type in the brand, see where you can get it from. A lot of times I may put where you can get certain products from. So, you know, I'm just leading the horse to the water. It's, you know, you can drink, and your drink is Google. So for the actual technique I'm putting down the color on the tip first. And I'm sure you could do this both ways because we're trying to get a smooth transition between both colors. So I'm using kind of a similar technique that I do with the Baby Boomer, except I'm blending those colors up the nail. Like I'm blending this blue up and the green down, and just kind of going back and forth till I get a smooth transition. Now for this next nail, I'm using 3 colors for this just to get a better color blend. And the pinks look very, very similar on camera, but they are different. So it's kind of hard to portray this because of how it looks on camera. So I'm using like a brighter, lighter pink, and then there's a more fuchsia pink I'm using as the second color, which leans a little bit more purple, and then that's blending into the actual purple. So color-wise, you know, it's going from purple to like a fuchsia pink to regular pink. So I'm blending it up as you see. So I use that bright pink, and I'm gonna call the second color fuchsia. I'm using the bright pink, the fuchsia, and then I'm blending the purple down. And then right now I'm going in with the fuchsia color, that medium pink. And then I'm just blending the purple and that fuchsia together to get a smooth blend, because they're closer in color, so they blend easier together. And now I'm taking that bright pink at the very tip, and I'm blending that bright pink into the fuchsia. And again, it's hard to tell. You're just going to have to trust me. It's just something with the iPhone camera that won't pick up that difference. So on this next look, I also used 3 colors for that same purpose as the previous one. She wanted this dark, it's not really dark, it's very pigmented, very saturated, I'll say, neon orange into the neon yellow but they were a little too different. So a step in between it was this very, it's not a pale orange. I don't even know what to call it, like a sun orange or orange, I don't know. But the second color that I'm going to use to blend, you see right there, that's the orange to the yellow she wanted to blend. It wasn't smooth. So I'm taking this kind of lemony orange. You can see this, the one I'm using now. And that is literally like the color you would get if you mixed that neon yellow with that bright orange. So that's allowing us to have a much more smooth transition. So I'm blending that dark orange to that medium orange and that medium orange to that yellow. And that kind of helps give us a better transition. So just think about that concept when you're doing any type of blend. If you can get a medium of those two colors, that's really going to help. So next we're doing our marble nail. This is super easy. It's just kind of anything goes here. I'm just picking up 2 or 3 colors at a time on my brush. I set it on the nail and I just kind of mix it with the tip of the brush. That's all I'm doing. One thing I want to add when you do this is to consider your color chart. To consider what colors could and should mix. Because like, for example, orange and purple. If you mix those together, you're going to get a mucky, like brown color. So I kind of keep those colors away from each other. So contrasting colors, and I've talked about this before, you have to be careful when you're mixing them. Now, once the acrylic has dried, if I wanted to put purple over that dry orange because they're not literally mixing together, you can do that. But actually like mixing orange into purple or into blue or yellow into purple or green into pink, these are contrasting colors and it's just like they don't mix well. They make a brown color. So actually like literally trying to blend that color into the next will make muddy color. So just be conscious of how you're setting those colors next to each other and what's actually blending together. So next I'll be doing this ombre nail, and this will be including all the colors that we used over the entirety of the set. So I'm starting with the bright pink and I'll be fading it all the way down to that orange. So usually if I'm going to be doing a full bling nail, generally speaking, I'll do a coordinating glitter behind the bling nail. But I wanted to really represent the actual colors that are in this set to help with the bling, to help it look like it's more cohesive. So I will be showing later in the video how to make this bling nail not look, so vapid or empty. Make it look really full because, the colors of the crystals that we have is not going to exactly coordinate because Swarovski doesn't make real like neon, heavily saturated colors. They have a new electric line, but we'll talk about that a tiny bit a little later in the video. So just stay tuned and we'll see, I'll show you how to get a decent bling nail from doing an ombre like that, especially when you don't have a ton of different sizes and so many different colors. So next we're going to be capping the designs, our ombres, our marbles. So you could see I start off and I just swipe the nail with the monomer first because it has dried out by now, and that helps us not get air bubbles when we apply our clear. You do want to work with a little bit of a wetter bead also to help reduce the amount of air bubbles, and the fact that, especially in this marble nail, there's so much texture from the marbling and the layering and stuff. So in those different indentations, you don't want to get air bubbles. So you can see again, I swipe the nail with the monomer first, and then I'm using a wetter bead and I'm patting it down the nail. And that will help with air bubbles because the nail is going to be wet. So our bead is just going to be attracted to it because it is wet. So it's kind of like the concept of a slip layer with gel. It's kind of the similar concept. So I filed and shaped off camera. Again, I file my nails. I shape my nails in the same way that you see me apply the tips with the hands, turn and face the ceiling. That's how I like to shape. That helps me get a nice crisp shape and even shape and everything like that. So I did my shaping and I'm using this smooth top fine grit carbide bit, and it's from Pucci's Nails, and I'm just going in and shaping the surface of the nail, making sure I get nice and tight around the cuticle area. And this again is important is an important reason why you want to cap the nail, because during this process, you do not want to file off the design. So if nothing else, you want to make sure when you cap the nails that you're capping that blend wherever it may be. So towards the middle of the nail, for example, you want to make sure on an ombre that you're capping it. For this nail, I had to make sure it was completely capped because we have a design on the entirety of the marble nail. So now I'm going in with the cross cut bit, which you know is my favorite bit. It helps buff the nail simultaneously, helps us get a very tapered look towards the cuticle area, and saves me from hand buffing and that discomfort that a hand buffer can cause the client, especially again towards the cuticle area and the live skin. So it's a 2-in-1 type product, and I just absolutely recommend it. Like, you could do almost everything with this bit in a whole set. Like, yeah. So I'm just showing you the thickness of the nails just so you can see, and that C curve that we ended up with. It's not super, super tight, but it's a good construction so that she has solid nails. So these are those were the electric pink Swarovskis. We're using the fuchsia. This is heliotrope. We're going to be using sapphire. And then we're going to be using the blue zircon shimmer. This is like a blue with a green. Citrine. It is a yellow. It's like a crystal yellow. And then this fire opal glacier blue. So it's like an orange with a little blue. It's basically the only orange I had, really. So I'm going to be going in with a glue gel. I'm testing this one out, but Nailed by John Herpes gel is actually great. I'll put a link to that below. I'm using Protein Bond, and I'm using these crystals. They're like the Pixie Edge type crystals. They're a little bigger than regular Pixies. The Daily Charm matte top coat, and I'm using this alpha brush. And I'm using this to apply the glue gel. It's the number 6. I like the number 6 and number 4. They're great to have around. And I'll put a link to this brush below also. So I'm just going to be applying that glue gel over the entirety of the nail. And then I'm going to go in with my crystals. And you can use a wax stick or a crystal katana. This is like a knockoff crystal katana. But it works good, just fine. So I'm kind of scattering these crystals kind of like in a zigzag, like up, down, just to kind of get that blend a little better. So it's not just a straight line of pink, straight line of purple. So you want to kind of add, you know, some below, some above, and again, kind of like stagger it. And that's going to help, again, with the look of the blend of the crystals. Now, I know what you're noticing. Those neon pink crystals, they match good with that neon pink color. But they do not look good in this look because they're so saturated and bright. And the other crystal, it's not like they're transparent, but they have this crystal-like look that light penetrates and it escapes it. But the neon pink ones, they don't have that same look. And that was what I was referring to earlier. It's hard to match these vibrant colors with Swarovski crystals unless you had a neon color or like an opaque crystal like that neon pink up top. Then that would be a different story. But I don't, and they don't really make that many colors in those neon ones. So we did not like that, and plus they only make those in like bigger sizes. So we took them off and we settled for the rose crystals. Of course, not as bright, as you can see. But again, this is another reason why it was important to add coordinating colors in the background, because you see that bright pink coming from behind it, and it kind of gives you that same essence and vibe. So now I'm using those little mini crystal pixies. And I'm taking you could take whatever you want to use. I'm just using the back of that kind of knockoff katana and a little bit of that crystal gel, and I'm adding it in between the spaces because I don't have a huge variety of sizes of colored crystals. Now with crystal AB or crystal or gold or like the basics, I have size 3, 5, 7, 9, blah, blah, blah. With the colors, I usually buy size 7 and size 12 or size 5, 7, 12 or something like that. So it leaves a lot of spaces in between. So you have these gaps. So what this does, adding these pixies, it allows it to have that crystal look in those gaps. But what you're seeing is the base color we put through. So it kind of gives it the look of having a crystal in the identical color that is our base ombre that we did. I hope that's making sense. So, I mean, and this would actually work. I could have just did the whole nail in like these crystal pixies. We just didn't want to do that. We wanted to have actual crystals. So that's what we did. Now, I used the Joya Mia top coat, and I painted in between those crystals, sealed them in, and went around it. So now I'm just painting the rest of the nails with that Daily Charm matte top coat. And this is our final look. And you can see from that before picture till now, it's a world of difference. And you see how that bling came out and how full that bling nail actually looks. It doesn't look like there's a ton of gaps. And that's what those pixies help us do. And the colors ended up working out because we can see our actual colors that we used in between the spaces. So it all goes together and coordinates well. If you're interested in how I tally up my prices, I have a pricing guide that I use, that I created, and I've printed it out, laminated it, and bound it. I actually do sell everything that's in this booklet. It's for $35. All you have to do is email me at this address right here. In the subject line, put pricing guide, and I'll give you instructions on how to get these soft copies of this guide. That means you're only going to be getting the documents in Excel and Microsoft Word. You can edit them how you feel. You can add beautiful colors, everything like that. It does not come with this cover sheet. You can make your own little cover sheet if you want to make it a booklet. You don't have to, or you can print these pages out big and hang them on your wall. It has things such as appointment reminders, information about, you know, cancellation policies, tardiness, food, and everything like that. Feel free to type whatever you want to, or use this as a guideline, change the amounts, the time, whatever you want to edit and change. You can change the fonts, add some cute little pictures, a border, whatever you want to do, and however you want to display it. Or if you just want to have this just to email to clients when you obtain them, you can definitely do that. I also have information about client courtesy, about them running their fingers through their hair and things like that. Print this out on a big old poster board at your Kinko's, FedEx, whatever, and put it on your wall. But here's the good stuff that you've been waiting for. This is the pricing. So I have everything on enhancements. Again, if you want this, you are free to edit all these items, delete these lines out, change this price to whatever you want to change it to. Of course, you know, take this out, put your business name, whatever. So this has all my different pricing. Again, put your own pricing, or if you want to use this pricing as a guideline, absolutely you can. I'm not saying you need to charge this much. You could charge more, charge less. That's a whole nother conversation. So it just has, you know, natural nail services, removal service, Swarovski design. You know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you can change these sections however you want to change them. And then I have just regular design add-ons, artwork, and everything like that. And then lastly, I have a page on keys to longer lasting nails. This is just tips and stuff to help you and your clients, you know, better understand how to make their nails last longer. Because if you haven't noticed, I like for my nails to last long and my clients' nails to last long as well. So again, however you want to do this, you can. To get this booklet, again, please email me at tabythascott.nails@gmail.com. Again, it's $35 to receive all 4 of these documents. And again, if you want to print it out like I have it, I got it at like Office Depot. You tell them to laminate all the pages and then bind them. Mine actually broke a little bit, but it's okay. And yeah. So I just wanted to add that those previous clips in order to help any of you guys out, any up and coming nail techs or anything. So I really want to thank you guys for watching. I want to give a shout out to Vanessa Nails on Instagram. This is a recreation of her look. And you guys, leave any comments or questions below. Don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up, like the video. Bye.